We got our floats in, we got our baffle in. This is our retainer that holds down the pin down there, which is the fulcrum for the floats. We got our needle and seat in on the end here. And we've installed this, get the proper gasket that fits in there. And also remember, there's a check bow that goes right here in a little pocket, so don't forget your check bow that goes in there. And now after you've got everything assembled here, you can do the air check again. And so if you blow air into these two holes, those ones are connected to those slots underneath the throttle plate at the bottom, so you should feel the air come out of there. And then if you blow air into these are vents, and they're vents to the fuel, so you should get a little bit of air coming out of the jets there, and you'll feel a little bit of air coming out of these right here. And then if you blow the air into these, it should come out hard out of those jets down at the bottom. Right, this one lines up to that one lines up to this one. So you blow that air in there, and then if you blow the air into here, there is those two little orifices on there, and you'll feel the air come out of there. So that's what you want to check with the air, make sure that all the passages are still clear and clean and everything's working out good. And then what we have left here is we've got a ball and spring that are going to go into there, and then we have this spring that's going to go into here, and then we can put the top on. I'm waiting to screw this on. It screws in right there. I'm waiting to put this on, so when I put the top on, because of the linkage, it's got to connect to the top there. Line everything. First of all, what we had to do was we had to take those two screws out that we had holding the bottom part together here, and then we're going to line everything up, put the top on, and then we're going to put all our screws in. We got 6 of them. We got 4 for over here, and those 2 that we removed, put them back in. And once we've got that tightened down, now we can put on that arm right here that connects from the body up to the choke here. So we fasten that on there, and then we also fastened our linkage from here down to here as well. And the last thing to go on here is going to be this plate. But before we do that, we've got some adjustments to make, or check and make adjustments for in here, and then our linkages probably on both sides. We're looking at our adjustments here for this carburetor, and the first one is right in here is telling us that we need a 35 thou gap right there. So we've removed this piece out, and the 35 thou is supposed to be right in here, and that is obviously too much, so we're going to have to adjust that. There's an Allen head for the top of the screw here. We're going to screw that down to our 35 thou. And to remove this is where our metering rods connect onto here, and then this will just come right out. But in order to do that, we have to remove this rod here. So got to remove this rod. So they've got these couple of keepers here, and they screw into the rod. You remove those keepers, pull that rod out of this sleeve and this sleeve in here. Once you pull that rod out, you should be able to pull this assembly out of here with the metering rods. So I just remove the metering rods there. We'll make this adjustment, and then we'll reinstall it, and then we'll move on to the next adjustment. So after we set that clearance in there, 35 thou, and we put it back in there. So here it is. I pushed it up and down. I wanted it to move really free and work really well before I put this rod in. I wasn't satisfied with the action, so what I ended up doing was I changed the spring. So here's the original spring in here, and then I was able to find another spring a little longer, and then I just tried that. And so now when you press it down, the reaction is way more crisp, way better. So we did that, and then we reassembled this rod and this sleeve, and then these two locking nuts or blocks or whatever you want to call them. So then it says the next adjustment is we want to back off our screws here. So both of these, we have 0 engagement on both of these 2 screws, 1 and 2. This one engages right there. So back that off, and then this one here engages this plastic thing. So back that off, so none of them are touching, and you want your throttle, so this is your throttle down there, so that is closed. So once your throttle is closed down at the bottom here, and then we reattached our linkage. Once this throttle is closed at the bottom, then what they're saying to do is to push your metering rods and your piston all the way down to the bottom. And once you've done that, then you're supposed to tighten these two here. And what that's doing is that's setting this position for this plastic, this one and this one here. And basically there's like a cam inside there. When you hit your throttle, it's going to start pulling up them metering rods right away. So that's what that setting's for. Our first adjustment there was with this screw only. That's setting our metering rods here with our throttle linkage and stuff, right? So the next adjustment is this one here. So it's saying that what you want is the top of that pump, that like basically the rod for the pump there, the top of that to the top of here. So what I did was, so you just kind of basically set it and then measure it and then just repeat until you get where you need it. So I just took the plate here and I put it across here like this, and as that's sitting there, then I just measured off of the top with the strip they give you in here, and basically I'm lining that up to 16. So again, I put the cover on like so, and then when I put that white strip in there, I'm able to measure right off that tab there. And that's going to line me up to 16. That's going to give me a ½ inch. That's what it's saying for the adjustment in the instructions here. So we've done our float level at a 1/4 inch, and then we have done our pump adjustment at ½ inch right there. After we've adjusted for that ½ inch for the pump adjustment, as this here. So basically once your throttle closed, and then you're going to turn that screw in until it rests to the nut there, or the stopper, and then it says here that you're going to turn the screw in 2 full turns after initial contact with the stop. So that is right here. So this is your screw. You're going to turn it in until it hits that stopper. There's your stopper, and once it hits that stopper, then you're going to turn your screw in 2 full turns. So when you turn that screw in the 2 full turns, what you're doing is you're just exposing more of this slot here for your idle. That's what that adjustment is for, is just to get a little more space for that slot. And as you know, as you open it, see how much of the slot you can see there. So basically you're just giving it 2 turns, give it a little extra so you get some more slot.